to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest. I hope everybody has had a great week, and you're looking forward to an even better weekend, being productive, staying healthy and strong. The students in this class, we are looking at speaking part 2, the speaking section, the cue card, of course, the long answer as well as it's known. And we are going to talk about how to give great answers and how to do it quickly. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, visit us there. And for the general version of the exam, check us out at IELTShelp.com. I'm putting the URLs up here so you can check us out at any time. This is a speaking class, so make sure to speak and repeat. And I'll quickly show you our website. Since this is a speaking class, I want to show where you can do speaking practice for free. This is the academic website here with the blue background. Click that big red button to join the premium package. And this is the general version of our website. Again, you can click that big red button to join the premium package. When you do, you will have a My Student account here where you can log in. And of course, it's a brighter background, so I'll darken it up just so you can see this clearly for now. And in your My Student account, you have computer-based practice exams. They're original exams developed by our professional team. You have online courses, videos. We have thousands of students study with us every day. And you have what's called a student partner speaking, which is a completely free service that we give to all people around the world. Lots of people use this already, but for new students, you can click on that student partner speaking, accept the conditions that you're going to be polite, and use it for the purpose of IELTS. And then when you click on that, you will find lots of students. You can see here we have all of these students in here looking for people to speak with. Try somebody. If you can't connect with them, it's maybe because they're already busy with another student. Send a message and say, hey, I'd like to chat. Are you available? And then you can do audio and video chat, and you can see that there are lots of students in here using this function. So once you connect with the student, you can choose a speaking script, say places, and then you click on that and you'll see lots of questions that you can practice. We'll be adding some more here as well. So you can use these questions to practice your speaking. Okay, lots and lots of questions there for you. So that's absolutely free. Kyber Maman says, I use it every day. It's very useful for sure. Very good, Kyber. And again, students, it's 100% free on these websites. So you can use these to improve and practice as much as possible and meet new people from around the world, of course. Keep your information private, students. So don't share your address and personal information like bank card and credit card numbers, okay? Don't do that, all right? Okay, so let's get back to the lesson. But again, that's absolutely free. Flower Sun, I'm glad that you find the website useful, and we're building it more and more every day, and the apps as well. So that's great that a lot of you are using those. People who use our websites every day for 30 days before their exam, almost without fail, report 1 band improvement on their scores, on their overall band scores. So, all right, if you have questions, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will gladly help you out, okay? All right, so let's get into today's lesson. It's part 2, okay? Now, when you're in the speaking interview, the examiner will ask some questions about you for part 1 on some general topic like your hobbies, your hometown, your work, your school. And once they're done asking you some personal questions, then they will say, okay, now that's the end of part 1. We shall continue with part 2. For part 2, here is a card with some questions. You will have 1 minute to look at these questions, think about your answers. Here's some note paper. Here's a pencil. You can take notes in the 1 minute if you wish. Then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. And you turn over the card, and this is what you see. Okay? So you read the card. Talk about a useful app that has helped you in some way. You should say, what is the app? Where did you hear about it? How did it help you? What could make the app even better? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you are going to say. Okay, so now read the topic twice here, always. So talk about a useful app that has helped you in some way. All right, sure. So you read the topic twice, and now as the next step, as step 2, you identify whether this is a person, object, place, event, or an idea. So it will be one of these topics, and each one has a specific way to talk about it. Okay, so step 2, identify whether you are talking about a person, place, object, idea, or event, as each of these categories has a specific structured approach. Okay, and I'm guessing some of you are answering that. Very good. So a lot of you are saying object, and Rangan is saying, yeah, it's a virtual object. That's exactly it. We live in the age of technology, and nowadays we have what's called virtual objects. So it is an object. It's a virtual object. And you're right. So in this case, it is an object. And another way to think about it is a virtual object. Now, whether you're talking about an object or a virtual object, the elements that you have to include, the parts that you have to include in your answer are the same. So object, virtual object, you have to include the same. Okay, so Bhumi says the appearance. Okay. Yeah, so what it looks like, and in this case, as you can imagine, the app, right? What it looks like. Its origin, very good, Khyber, very good, Rajveer. So where it comes from. Okay. Very good. And its function, very good. So its utility, function, yeah. All right. And what is it? What else? Okay. Sammy says what it's for. That's the function, Sammy. Yeah. And there's one more. What else should you always include when you're talking about an object in most cases? Okay. Who's using it? Sure, you can include that as well. So its appearance, its origin, the user. Yeah. Very nice, Samuel, the user who's using it. Very good, Nigham. I think you're studying from our lessons. Absolutely, it's value. So value. Value can be monetary, of course, the money value, but it can also be its functional value to you, to society, depending on the question, right? So all of these, so appearance, origin, function, user, value. Very good. And when you're making your notes, that's the order that you want to take your notes. So the next step, step 3, is think of 2 to 3 original answers that are easy to talk about. So what I mean by this is think about a couple of possible choices that you can answer. Don't pick your first one. A lot of students think of one idea, that's it, and then they go. It's not a good strategy, okay? So don't just think or don't just talk about the first idea that comes to your mind. That's a bad strategy because your second or third idea might be much, much better. Okay, so Boomy says, how about the academic IELTS help app? Yeah, because we have an app. Very good. I love how our members are promoting that. The Nike running app, that's something I use as well. One of you said that. Okay, so YouTube app, Nike Run Club app. I use that one. I'm surprised somebody else. Well, I'm not. I guess it's a popular app. Nike Run Club app. One of you said academic IELTS help app. That's our app. Thank you for mentioning that as well. Mahesh says Udemy. That's a good one as well. Zoom. Okay. That would be a good one as well. Very nice, Alves. Google Maps. Okay. All right. Mohammed Azad says the General IELTS help app. That's our other app, Mohammed, so I'll have to put that up there. General IELTS help. All right, thank you for those. Okay, students, so that's lots. PUBG as well. I'll put that up there, so I know a lot of you like that game. Okay, so let's keep it at these ones. Now, keep in mind, students, so when you're thinking of these, again, remember, original, easy to talk about. Keep the question in mind. So YouTube is 1, Nike Run Club app 2, Academic IELTS Help app 3, Udemy 4, Zoom 5, let's say, Google Maps 6, General IELTS Help 7, PUBG 8. Okay, so keeping these in mind, original, so more or less original and easy to talk about. Give me your number. So vote for one, and then we will choose one of these. So Boomy says 3, Hassan says 2, 3. Okay, I love how a lot of you want to talk about our company's app. That's nice of you. Okay, a lot of you are saying 8, PUBG. Okay, tons and tons and tons of numbers flying. All right, I can see 1 is a very popular vote, 6 is a popular vote. Okay, so I'll explain to you what I would do. I would use Google Maps. Okay, now it's a little bit argumentative here, I'm sure. Okay, so academic IELTS help, sure, that would be good because it's original and it's probably easy to talk about for sure as well, and it's related to the exam. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with Academic IELTS Help. That's our app, and I don't want to make this lesson sound like a sales pitch either, so I'm not going to do number 3 today, although I appreciate that. I don't want to make this class sound like it's all about a sales pitch. So instead, I'm going to kind of do a veto here, and I'm going to go with Google Maps. Okay, so I'm going to choose Google Maps. I think YouTube is one that a lot of students would choose. Nike Run Club app, that would be good, but I'm a little bit cautious that many of you are maybe not familiar with that, so it'd be difficult to associate with. Udemy would be okay too. I think Udemy's not a bad choice. PUBG is a game, and although games help people to relax, it's not really an app for helping. It's more an app for entertainment. Okay, so I think Google Maps would be a good choice because I think it's fairly original. Now, original doesn't mean that you should be the only person to talk about it, but it should mean that it's not as popular as like YouTube. I think a lot of people would choose YouTube or Amazon, depending on what part of the world they're in. Okay, Udemy might be a very popular choice as well. If you know our apps, Academic IELTS Help or General IELTS Help, sure, that could be a good one also. All right. So let's choose Google Maps. And I think that's an easy one to talk about. Okay, that's another big reason to choose this. It's fairly original and it's easy to talk about. Okay, so we choose Google Maps, and step 4, we come up with some useful notes. Okay, so step 4, useful notes in the same order as the parts for objects. Okay, and of course our choice here is Google Maps. I think all of us are familiar with this, and it's an original and easy choice. So just a reminder, okay, when we're talking about an object, we talk about its appearance, so what it looks like. We talk about the origin, the function, the user, the value. Okay, so give me some useful notes here. You only have enough time to write down about 20 words, so make them count. Always have 2-3 words per note, and it should be something that will give you extra ideas, not something that you can think about anyway. Okay, so give me the concept of position here. Okay, now Google Maps, Abhishek, it's not necessarily something you purchase. Okay, so what does it look like? What does it look like? Okay, tell me what it looks like. So Bisser says it's as a delivery driver, UK Map helps me a lot. What does it look like? Okay, it's free. Too much information with too many different ideas, students. Don't get lost in a world of ideas. So Bekjan says it's a picture of the Earth. So it looks like a map. Yeah, Bisser. So 2D map. It's usually so think about the most common look of it. Okay, it's a 2D map. Okay, you can also say bird's eye view. It's a nice expression for you to learn. Bird's eye view of the city or area. Okay, colorful. Okay. Pooja says it also has a street view. Okay. Boomi says satellite view, GPS. Okay, sure. Stores, names, locations, I would say that. Okay. All right, good. So that's plenty for the appearance. Don't get stuck too long on the appearance. So it's a 2D map. It's colorful. It shows the area, the city. Okay, just like a paper road map. Okay. So after the appearance, the origin, where does it come from? So where does it come from? That's why I said that Google Maps is a great choice, because there's a lot of good ideas as long as you know where it's coming from. Okay, it's made by Google, so we know that. So, but where does it come from to your phone? Okay. It's in the Play Store, Pooja, but how many of you actually had to download and install Google Maps? I know I didn't. So where does it actually come from? I don't see the correct answer. I think all of you are overthinking it. Yeah, very good, Mahesh. It's already installed in everyone's phone. Right. It comes pre-installed in your phone, okay? So, yeah, very good. Pre-installed. Nice, Rejveer. So that's the vocabulary. So pre-installed on Android phones. It came with my phone. Okay? So it's such a useful map that it came with your phone. It's pre-installed. I know I never had to download it. I had to update it sometimes, but I never actually had to download it. Okay. All right. Okay, so pre-installed on my phone. It came with my phone, and there you can think got my phone from a store, right? So all All right, so there you can think of the store's name. Okay, again, in these first few points, don't get stuck up. So appearance, origin, good. Function. So now we think about function and the user. So who uses it and the function. What's the function? What do you do with it? Okay. So give me some useful notes that you wouldn't necessarily think of. So Abhishek, when you say find destination, that's okay, but I bet you don't need to write that down. You can think about that. So Prashant, good. Distance and navigation, that would be okay to write down, right? It doesn't just tell you where you are, but it tells you how to navigate. So, and the distance, the time, right? Okay, navigate, time, traffic, okay? Good. What else does it help you with? Okay. I would maybe write down something like restaurants, shops, okay? So it reminds you that you can find shops, okay? Samuel says voice command. Again, students, when you have so much information, I think most of you or many of you could probably talk about Google Maps for much more than 2 minutes. So you have to stay structured and clear, okay? All right? Okay, so availability. I know one thing it does is car, transit, and foot. So that would be another really interesting point to mention is Google Maps will tell you how to get from one place to another depending on whether you're in a car, public transit, or foot. That's a super cool functionality I'm sure many of you will agree with, okay? Good. All right, the user is me. That's an easy one here. So past 10 years, me. Okay, so that's the user. All right, and its value. All right, so what is its value to you? Give me a couple of really clear ideas for value. And a lot of you have some good, okay, so Karamvir Kaur says, once I got lost in a city and Google Maps helped me out. Okay, got lost. All right. Be specific. Okay, find pharmacy. Those would be ones that would visually come to me very quickly. Okay, again, think about specific ideas. All right, perfect. So lots of great ideas. So see, this is what I mean by the topic of today's lesson. So getting great answers quickly, okay? So far, just a couple points to recapitulate. To give great answers quickly, students, to give great answers quickly, these are the steps that you have to take, okay? Firstly, you have to identify what you're talking about, and then think about 2 or 3 possible answers. Choosing a great answer will help you to speak much more fluently and much faster than choosing a difficult or bad answer. Okay, so choosing the right idea is absolutely critical. Don't even start writing notes. Don't even think of anything else until you have a great idea for your part 2 answer. If you have to, spend your whole 1 minute looking at the questions and thinking about the right answer. Okay, having the right answer will definitely help you get a better score and will help you to speak faster and come up with higher points, okay? Then, after you have a great idea, remember when you're talking about an object, you need to talk about appearance, origin, function, user, value in this order. Of course, keeping in mind the part 2 questions. As long as you do that, you're on the right path. You're going to do okay, all right? Okay, okay. Yeah, I know many people are using Google Maps for their job as well. Taxi drivers, food delivery service, very useful during the COVID situation. So those are some great ideas also. Now, what's my next step? Help me out here, students. I know many of you are in this class regularly. There's one more step before your 1 minute time is up that you should think of. Okay, so you have one more very, very important step here, step 5. Always take this step in the last 10 seconds, last 15 seconds, okay? Seconds of prep time. Okay, write down your first sentence. That's right, very good. Kyber, Jack Patel, Shal, I love how so many students are now finding our classes and preparing the right way for the IELTS exam. So write down your first sentence. Okay. Now, when you write down your first sentence, use the topic sentence. Okay. So here, the topic sentence is talk about a useful app that has helped you in some way. Now, of course, you can, for a lot of you that are, using some good English, you can paraphrase this. So instead of help, you can say aided. Instead of useful, you might be able to use the word utility, depending on the grammar that you're using. App, keep that the same. So for the subject, keep the subject the same. Okay. I don't recommend changing that to software or something else. Keep the same subject, app, okay? Kyber Momand says an app that has helped me in some way is Google Maps, okay? And then you start off with your description, very good. Sammy Rocky says Google Maps is one of the most useful apps around the globe that has aided me in several ways, okay? All right, Hassan, I'm not sure where you're going with that. I think you're reminiscing about an idea. Boomy Shutbar says an important app that has aided me to find my speaking center today is Google Maps. I like it, Boomy. So a very useful app that helped me get to this speaking exam on time today is Google Maps. I bet you'd get a smile even from the most serious examiner for that one, Boomy. Fantastic. Okay, so good. So that's your first sentence, okay? You answer this topic question right away. Students, please don't start by writing something like, there are many useful apps on my phone. I don't care about that, okay? That's wonderful, and I'm happy that you have lots of useful apps. I'm just asking you for one useful app. Don't generalize. Specific answers get much higher band scores, okay? So keep it specific through and through. From your first sentence, be specific, all right? IELTS examiners love to hear specific first sentences. So an app that has aided me several times over the past years and has immense utility in my life is Google Maps. All right, so notice the sentence here right away, kicking it off with a little bit of present perfect, has aided me several times over the past years and has immense utility in my life is Google Maps. All right, so right away, direct answer to that question. Again, it's speaking, students, so repeat after me. An app that has aided me several times over the past years and has immense utility in my life is Google Maps. All right, fantastic. Now, description, right? So right away, we go into describing it. What is it? So I'm an alien. You need to tell me what it looks like. I need to be able to picture it. Okay? So give me some sentences for that. Okay? Tapahalo sa Swati Abdi Jabbar, those are some good first sentences. Okay, hi Farah Mars. All right, so describe it for me. So Nigheim An says it's greatly designed with 2D map and colorful streets and locations, which I find easy to use. Yeah, very good, Nigheim, right? So describing what it looks like also makes you realize that it's easy for the eyes. It's easy to interpret. So Nigheim says it has a beautiful or beautifully simplistic two-dimensional, let's say the whole word, design with colors which are easy on the eyes and clear to interpret. Yeah, very good. Okay. All right. Great. Okay, let's see what else you have there. So Hina says it's really colorful icons help me to navigate to my desired locations at all time. Amit says the biggest advantage of this app is it looks extremely simple and easy to operate. Okay. All right. Keep telling me what else you think of. So visualize the app. Have the app in your head. Okay. This is a daily use app to go to and fro strange or unfamiliar places to save precious time and anxiety. Right, Rajveer Singh? Okay, good. All right, Pooja says it's an application developed by Google. It comes pre-installed on my Android phone. It helps me to reach my destination with the shortest route and traffic updates. Okay, Pooja, I think we're going into the next part there. Okay, so here I would add a little bit more, students. So I would say something like it also contains pictures of venues and their address information. As well, there is a search bar which allows me to input any desired start and stop point. Okay. So again, the more powerfully you visualize these elements, the better you can describe them. So sometimes students are like, really, I need to describe what something looks like? Yes, of course. And especially if you do a good job of it, you're getting lexical resource marks, you're getting grammar marks, you're getting coherence marks, and your band scores are going up. Okay, so spending 1 or 2 sentences on what the object looks like that you're talking about is a really good idea. All right. Okay. Let's see if we have some other. Sammy says it has a built-in audio system, which is useful for bike riders to plug into their headphones. Yeah, Sammy, it's useful for you, so don't go off topic to bike riders unless you're the bike rider, okay? So it has a built-in audio system, which is useful for me when I'm driving or riding my bike, okay? So again, you're describing its appearance, sure. So it has audio and voice command so that I can conveniently use it even when I'm driving or riding my bike. Sure. Okay. And now we get into its origin, right? So where does it come from? Okay. It's part of the question. I believe that was one of the questions on the card, right? So this is an app that was developed by Google in the early 2000s, and it came pre-installed on every Android phone I've ever owned since its release to the public. So the last time I got it was with my Samsung S10 from, just pick a phone place, Vodafone. Okay. It's not actually where I got my phone, but whatever. It's all good. All right, so we're doing a fantastic job here, and we're already hinting at all of the answers, right? Of course, we're touching on these different points. So here, what I would do is, of course, look at my notes and look at the questions on the card to see where I'm going, okay? So look at my notes, questions, and parts of object description. I should say discussion. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking of now. So I've talked about what it is, what it looks like, where it comes from, so the origin, okay, so appearance. And now I look at the card. So how did it help you? Where did you hear about it? It's kind of the same as where does it come from if it's on your phone, okay? And then how did it help you? What could make the app even better? Pay attention. Sometimes there's these kind of unexpected questions on the card. That's why it's always a good idea to look at the card so you don't miss a question like this. Now, before we get to this question, let's talk about how it helped you, okay? So we have notes on that, right? Got lost in Rome, find a pharmacy, save time to get to the exam. Give me some answers to this, students. Let me see what you have, okay? So, yeah, Rajveer, we'll get to that in the end. Rajveer Singh Dhaliwal, that's what I would use for the last part, right? What could you do to improve this app? It actually does work offline, Rajveer. You can download maps for your area, so it does work to some extent. Okay, so how does it help you? Okay, how does it help you? So Pooja says, being an avid traveler, it has been a part of my daily life with Street View and the shortest bike routes. In fact, it is free of cost, and not only it only requires a data plan, which is sponsored by OFI. Okay, Pooja, that's good. So it's some good information. Again, make sure to answer all the questions on the card, and then after you can expand and add more information, but be sure to answer all the questions on the card. Okay. Hina says, I would say it's a great friend of mine as I'm really bad with directions. Not poor in directions, Hina, but I'm bad with directions. Okay, bad with directions. Pea Basak says, once I got lost in Italy and I got really stressed. Immediately I pulled out my phone, used Google Maps to find my way, and it was a huge relief. Okay, very good. Abhishek says, nowadays this application is used by multiple companies. Students, don't go off topic. Abhishek, be careful. It's asking about how it has helped you. Okay, you, Abhishek. You is a very important part of this cue card. It's the subject, secondary subject here. Okay. Rajveer says, it has assisted me to find venues and reviews about restaurants and hotels. In fact, I used it today to reach this exam center on time. Yeah, very good, Rajveer. Okay. All right. So again, stay on topic. Samuel says, when I was in Rome on my vacation, it helped me traverse the streets of narrow Venice. and find my favorite restaurants. When I was in Italy, Samuel, because Venice is not Rome. Rome is one city, Venice is another city, so careful not to confuse your examiner. Okay, so in fact, when I was in Venice, I like that idea, Samuel, because in fact, I used Google Maps in Venice for sure. Okay, it's like a labyrinth. So, in fact, when I was in Venice in 2019, Google Maps was extremely helpful in navigating the labyrinth of the narrow streets that make up the city, to find museums and even a pharmacy when I needed to get some allergy medication. Okay, so that. Furthermore, it assisted me to find this exam center on time, and even warned me of a traffic jam, and provided me with an alternate, faster route. Okay, sure. So again, you can talk lots and lots. Sometimes, students, the challenge is not speaking enough about a topic for a cue card, but sometimes the challenge is not over speaking or getting lost on too many ideas, okay? So make sure to stay focused and stay structured, okay? So stay focused, stay structured, okay? Your goal here is to get a high band score. Now, of course, we have one more question, and we remember that now that we looked at the card. So many times students forget one of the key questions on the card, and they lose half a band. So don't do that. Here's another question. What could make the app even better? All right. I'm sure Google would love to hear your answers for this. So give me just one or two sentences on what you think could make Google Maps even better. All right? In your opinion. Immediately, I have a couple of ideas, I'm sure. So what could make Google Maps even better? All right? Don't forget to answer that question if you want to get a band 9. What do you think? So what has happened in the past where you're thinking, oh, I wish Google Maps could have done that? Okay. Pooja says virtual projections. All right, I think that's a little bit complex. Rowa says for it not to need the internet. Okay. Yeah, and you can be imaginative. I'm not sure how they would solve that, but to work perfectly without an internet connection. Okay. Hassan says an interesting feature I would like to see in the future is Google to have an Earth map that you can see only our solar system. I would like to see other planets included in the map. Okay, Hassan, that's very imaginative. There is an app, Hassan, called Google Sky that shows you the map of the universe. Check that out if you haven't ever seen it. Google Sky. I think a lot of people don't know about that app, but it's quite interesting. Okay. Amit Gupta says it should give a preference to avoid tolls, highways, or ferries. On top of that, it has different routes like foot, transit, or car. Yeah, that was in our notes. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, Nazir says it could be useful for people with specific disabilities. Yeah, sure. So maybe including information for people who have who are in a wheelchair and what are the best navigations. That's a brilliant idea, Nazir. I'm sure Google might even be working on that. They would love to hear about that. So a couple of ways that Google Maps could be even better is if it worked in all parts of the world, even remote forests and deserts. Okay. I'm not sure if you've realized, but Google Maps does not work everywhere. There are still places that you travel to where Google Maps simply does not give accurate directions. Okay, so it'd be cool if it used some kind of satellite positioning system on your phone so that it could literally work anywhere on the planet. It works for most places, especially in big cities, but it still doesn't work everywhere. So Google Maps could be even better if it worked in all parts of the world, even remote places, and if the information were updated every 24 hours to show changes in venues and routes. So even though Google Maps is quite accurate, you've probably realized that sometimes it'll tell you that there's a store there and that store isn't actually there anymore. They closed a month ago. So the refresh time on Google Maps, it's not perfect. It's not real time. That would be amazing. But of course, that will take some more technology. Okay, so finally, it would be highly useful or valuable for many people, like my grandpa, if it had options for best routes for people with disabilities, such as commuting by wheelchair. Okay, perfect. Very good. Some great ideas. Okay, students, really good job. Let's read the card. Let's read the answer. See if it makes sense. Make sure we have a band 9 here. Okay, and again, the focus here is how to build a quick, effective, high-level answer. Let's look at the card. Talk about a useful app that has helped you in some way. You should say, what is the app? Where did you hear about it? How did it help you? What could make the app even better? Here we go. So, read with me. If you're confident in your English, then try not to read. Try to just do it from hearing me. An app that has aided me several times over the past years and has immense utility in my life is Google Maps. It has a beautifully simplistic two-dimensional design with colors which are easy on the eyes and clear to interpret. It also contains pictures of venues and their address information. As well, there's a search bar which allows me to input any desired start and stop point. It has audio and voice command, so I can conveniently use it even when I'm driving or riding my bike. This is an app that was developed by Google in the early 2000s. It came pre-installed on every Android phone I've ever owned since its release to the public. So the last time I got it was with my Samsung S10 from Vodafone. And I knew about it once I had my phone because I opened up my Google Apps and there it was. In fact, when I was in Venice in 2019, Google Maps was extremely helpful in navigating the labyrinth of the narrow streets that make up the city to find museums and even a pharmacy when I had to get some allergy medication. Furthermore, it assisted me to find this exam center on time today and even warned me of a traffic jam and gave me an alternate, faster route. A couple of ways Google Maps could be even better is if it worked in all parts of the world, even in remote forests and deserts, and if the information were updated every 24 hours to show changes in venues and routes. Finally, it would be highly valuable for many people like my grandpa if it had options for best routes for people with disabilities, such as commuting by wheelchair. And the examiner will now say, okay, your time is up. And now we will continue with part 3. So that was a little bit faster, I know, Freyon. I did that on purpose as well. That's still natural English speed. Okay. That's it for today's lesson. So if that was a bit fast, don't worry about it. Come back to the video, try repeat it a couple times. The video will be available on the channel shortly. Okay, I will have this response up on our community board as well. And again, for lots more videos, sample interviews for the IELTS exam questions, and for free student partner speaking, visit us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. And again, use that free student partner speaking function. Many students do. Okay. Here's a code to get a 20% discount for our premium courses. R4TYJ. You can get 20% off if you use that in the checkout form. Okay. That's it for today. Tomorrow, members, questions and answers. So bring your questions to class tomorrow, members. I look forward to those. And tomorrow we'll do part 3 speaking for this part 2 at the same time. You're very welcome, Rangana. Have an awesome rest of your day, Rajveer, both Rajveers. Bye, Lapuj. Bye, Priyanka. Hopefully all of you are staying healthy and safe. My name is Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Budapest. Bye for now.